Hi everyone, I'm Megan Malone. I'm a learning specialist at the University of Maryland for the Terrapins. Sorry I could not be there today. I just recently moved across the country and we're in the middle of midterms and it's really crazy. I'm sad to miss this event. There's some great people giving some talks here with some great insight. Hopefully there's transcripts available of my talk. It's about appropriation. And if you want one and it's not available, please feel free to email me. My email is on the website. Or if you have any questions or comments, would love to talk about this stuff more. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Thanks. A few months ago, I was perusing Facebook and came across my friend's status which stated, "Appropriation isn't a thing. Move on." To which an acquaintance of hers commented, "Say it louder for the people in the back." I sat there looking at the status for about 5 minutes, deciding whether or not to incite a Facebook war. I really wanted to incite a Facebook war. But I didn't. With slight reluctance mixed with relief, I left her Facebook page and tried to move on. However, the comment haunted me and has stayed with me. I was frustrated because I couldn't come up with a one-sentence rebuttal, and I was frustrated because I wanted people to get it. I questioned, how can I, someone who believes in social justice, is an ally and advocate, not easily defend such a statement? A, I'm an educator. Inciting a Facebook war isn't always healthy, and my goal is always thoughtful dialogue. B, sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. C, I don't always have the patience to work with people on these ideas. D, this transformation comes from within, is an individual journey of understanding. And finally, E, as a person who's transracially adopted, my indigenousness and brownness is something I feel I'm constantly appropriating. So today I come to you with one perspective and one answer to the multifaceted question, what is appropriation? It isn't simple, it is complex, and I believe appropriation is just one aspect of power, privilege, racism, and history. I don't expect to answer all your questions in this time, but just to plant seeds and to share an idea. So how do we move past the non-black community with locks, the African statues, the decorative prayer flags, the dreamcatcher tattoos, the headdresses at Burning Man, and the derogatory music that alienates a history? There is a sense in our patriarchal dominant Americanness that we don't question ownership, and if we do question, we're overreacting and need to get over it. Today I'm questioning ownership. I'm questioning how to find the balance between ownership and celebration. Back to my friend and her need to be able to get her sugar skull tattoo and to justify wearing her t-shirt that has a lion wearing a headdress on it. What is appropriation? The formal definition, according to Merriam-Webster Online, is an action or instance of taking, especially illegally or unfairly. In colloquial terms, stealing one's ideas and using them as their own. How does this play out in our culture? We have American food, the cheeseburger and the good old twice-baked potato, and on a larger scale, our society struggles with the idea of land ownership and identity, Native American and African American history and trauma, to name a few. We take the cool pieces, the pretty things, but we don't recognize the pain and the grief that the minorities in our communities have endured. Think about these examples of how we appropriate other cultures. Think about how generic our descriptions are, the terms like tribal, geometric, or ethnic when speaking of clothing or jewelry. Instead, we should be thinking Altaic, Sioux, and Dene. Think about symbolism and living the thoughts and connections behind the objects we label as exotic and unique. People unceremoniously wear the bindi and twerk without recognizing what cultures they come from and why the communities developed them. And maybe the larger issue here is the role art plays in our society and the idea that we can share everything. But by sharing everything, we don't take the time to honor and give respect to where language and religion's objects and designs are created from. We tend to think, once we've visited the community or if they've shared a piece of their culture with us, it then is our own. We tend to think that once we've read it or it is being sold in the store, then we can use it. Companies like Forever 21 and Pottery Barn take these names and designs and ideas and make commodities to look different and exotic. It goes from having meaning and symbolism to mass production and nothingness. Now that you have the images of prayer flags, sombreros, the rapper M&Ms rolling around your head as you mull over the idea of appropriation, let me go back to E. As a person who's transracially adopted, my indigenous and brownness is something I feel I'm constantly appropriating. My family's very Italian and very white, and I grew up in a very white community. I'm not those things. My mom was always good at normalizing my adoption by saying things like, "I love my adopted baby girl." She never wanted my adoption to be a surprise or something people could make fun of. But she also knew that raising a brown baby in a white family was nothing that could be hidden, nor should it be. How do you celebrate your child's heritage and identity without marginalizing it? I knew very early on that I was different. It was really hard to hide dark skin in a white family. My grandma would say, I tried to stay tan when you were younger so that you could feel like you fit into the family. While the sentiment was love, there was a lack of awareness in what she was saying. My mom would take me to different malls to walk around and see the diversity around me. When I was a toddler, I once stated, Mom, everyone around here looks like me and not like you. It was obvious to me, and being so young, I never saw a problem. At one point, she also took me to a Native American museum, and I stated, I finally feel like I fit in. Growing up in a white family, I know what it means to think you have power and privilege to be able to do anything. But while my family said I could do what I want, I had the constant reminder of my community telling me, hey Megan, you're one of us. Brown isn't a thing. And my society around me saying, hey Megan, remember you are brown. How do you balance the constant reminder of your skin color with the constant reminder that you should forget it and somehow it doesn't matter? With my looks alone, people told me to learn Spanish. I learned Arabic instead. With my looks alone, they assumed I was raised by a single parent. With my looks alone, they told me I spoke English well. My adoption history is typical. I have a birth mother who found she couldn't take care of me, so she decided to give me up for adoption instead of raising me in her uncertain world. But by doing so, I don't get the honor or the privilege of living in my indigenousness. I don't get to breathe the music or traditions of my heritage. I have been searching for a place to belong. I sit in between two worlds, the world of the privileged and the world of the oppressed. I want the sugar skull tattoo. I want to wear the poncho. I want to embrace my indigenousness. I want to sit with my native ancestors to breathe what they teach. But my education, my upbringing says, no, Megan, you aren't one of them because you weren't raised in your culture of heritage. I constantly battle wanting to embrace my heritage, but I feel like an imposter. But I don't look like an imposter. But I talk like an imposter. My education throws me under a bus because, remember, I speak English too well. I respect the space and know I can't be part of it. I know that sometimes I need to just be an observer, not an owner. Americanness is a melting pot of cultures and ideas, and in that, those with the power and privilege live in their culture and community without reprimand. What stands out are those who are othered. Those othered become the hot commodity. Those others are the newest trend. My answer to the question, what is appropriation, is appreciation. Back to my definitions, appreciation is defined as an ability to understand the worth, quality, and importance of something, a full awareness or understanding of something. When I look at those prayer flags you hang on your porch, when I look at that geisha Halloween costume you wear at a Halloween party, when I hear you rapping a Jay-Z song, I question if you understand the meaning. I question if you understand the importance. I question if you have the years of reflection that those communities live every day. I question if you understand the pain they feel when their culture and custom are being distorted and misrepresented. I think, how can they when I can't? Respect the space and know you can't be a part of it. Be an observer, not an owner. Celebrate through appreciation. Thank you.